Report. Hanging at the Fish Report. For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the Fish Report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the Fish Report. Hanging at the Fish Report. Hanging at the Fish Report. You got Craig and TK and Head and D. Tune in at the Fish Report.
Coming to you live from Studio F in Russia, Ohio. It's the Fish Report Live Show with your hosts, Craig Fissinger and Ken Francis.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another Fish Report Live. Thanks for waking up with us. I'm Craig Fissinger. That is Ken Francis. We're your host. And Ken, usually on Thursday mornings, I go around the horn and tell you where everyone's at. Actually, this morning we're calling it Senior Night, and it's kind of crazy around here.
Yeah, it is, Craig. What a fun morning we're going to have here. You know, we've brought in our kids. The four of us, the original Fish Report guys, got four senior kids. We've got Anna, Carter, Will, and Daniel.
Our own
Daniel. I wasn't for sure if I was going to call him Daniel or Kearns or what I should call him there. So sorry about that, Mr. Kearns. But so anyways, our four kids, all seniors, Craig, really special. We're going to be a fun, special night, and really looking forward to kind of going around the horn with the four of us and just talking about some of their memories and some of their fun antics that they like to do.
Yeah, no phone calls here this morning. We're actually going to do everything in studio. But, you know, Ken, it's been 250 shows for you and I and the crew here. I mean, a lot of great memories. One of the highlights of this show, of course, is always the interviews. And we've done interviews with so many great guests, athletes, coaches, media people, and you know, pretty much everyone we've wanted to interview is accepted, and that just says a lot for all these our guests out there. But are there any interviews that stand out for you? Anything you remember in particular?
Well, Craig, there's a lot of them. I mean, it's been a great 250 shows. It's hard to believe we've done it that many times, Craig. But I guess the one I would like to say stands out probably the most for me would probably be our interview with Clayton Murphy. We talked to Clayton. He was out on the West Coast. He was preparing out in Oregon. Of course, he's a professional athlete now. Runs for Nike. Runs for Oregon Project. And it was just so neat to see because Craig, I watched that kid run when he was a 7th grader and 8th grader. All the way through high school, and it was just special. He ended up winning bronze medal at the Rio Olympics, and to have him on our show and was just really special. I really think he's got a bright future ahead of him. Honestly, I think it's neat too. I think he's engaged to Ariana Washington, which, Craig, honestly, I think she could be the next Florence Griffith Joyner, if you know who I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
And it's just neat. It's neat saying that I saw that kid run when he was like 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it was just a neat interview for me.
Maybe Mrs. The future Mrs. Murphy could actually be. Maybe she can be an interview on this show sometime.
She may be.
Yeah, we talked to a lot of professional athletes. Speaking of Olympians, we had Louis Vito. You remember him years ago, an Olympic snowboarder on the show, and professional athletes like Luke Kennard when he was still playing high school basketball. Now in the NBA, he was on the show, as well as Jared Hoyne, professional baseball player, on the show. For me, I enjoyed. One of the big highlights for me, I guess, was having Sunny Olding on the show, a girl that I admired as a runner over there at Minster for 4 years. To get her on the show, she's now a doctor. Was kind of neat to talk to her about her perspective now being a doctor to back when she was running. I also enjoyed talking to, believe it or not, Jeff Teeters. You remember him? He was the big star at Jackson Center. Hit that shot heard around Ohio. Kind of neat to track him down. He's down in the Cincinnati area now, and a lawyer. Kind of fun reminiscing with him on old memories from 1985. But probably my favorite interview for me personally was when we talked to the director of communications over at the Ohio High School, Tim Streed, and he was the guy that actually got us started on this show back when I applied for press credentials to the state cross country meet 8 years ago. He said, no, you're not going to get them. And when I asked why, he said, well, you're not a bona fide news media website or whatever you call yourself. And we just said, the heck with it. We're going to do our own show then. We started a sports talk show a year later, applied for those same press credentials, and I got them. We got them. And, and so I think it was 3-4 years later, actually got him on our show. And it kind of gave validation of what we've done here and how far we've come with this, and it was kind of neat to like I said, bring him on here, and it was my highlight of me for an interview, I guess you said.
That's good stuff, and yeah, it's hard to believe we've done this 250 times, Craig, down your basement. I remember starting with a milk crate, and just all the fun interviews we had, and Craig Stallman. There's another guy we've had on our show, and just a lot of professional athletes, Craig. But let's not forget the locals. All the local kids that we've had on our show, from the Russia Raiders to the Laramie Redskins to the Minster Wildcats, Versailles Tigers, and so on and so on. So Andre Gordon, things like that. So a lot of fun.
Yeah, try to do it right. I think we've done over 500 interviews in the last 8 years, and so always try to do it right, and always appreciate the comments from the community out there. It's just been a lot of fun. But listen, we're going to talk some sports this morning, so we'll reminisce some more here in a little bit, but a lot of basketball, tournament basketball going on right now. Out of respect for a bunch of Russia players we have in the building here this morning, we're going to refrain from talking about boys basketball here this morning, but do want to talk about the girls. They're all set up for the district games coming up this Saturday, and for that, we're going to go out, of course, to Studio R, talk to Covey and Kearns. Guys, good morning, and Kearns, we're going to get to you here in a little bit, but Covey, you've been on this show now for a while. What are your first memories of Fish Report Live?
Well, I remember sitting on my couch on a Sunday watching basketball, and all of a sudden I hear the doorbell ring, and I see some stranger named Craig and his son Ross ask me if I want to come over and talk about NCAA basketball in this little area that you got down in your basement, and went up and talked some NCAA basketball at the time. Next year, came in, filled in the sound room a couple times, and then ended up doing some CYO basketball with Kearns and Tim and you and Ross. And then I get actually a text message on my 18th birthday saying, "Hey, we're gonna expand Fish Report. We'd like you to be interested. We wanted to see if you're interested." Accepted this. Had to sit next to this dingbat for the past year and a half. Make him look good most of the time. I'm just kidding, but
plus you got a big contract. Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, I with NK Toko. So I just like to thank all you guys for having me. It's awesome. You guys have given me the opportunity. I wouldn't have had these opportunities if it wasn't for your guys' really just being nice and just lending out a helping hand. You really helped starting my career, because I know when I'm going to be accepting awards when I'm older, I'm going to be thanking Fish Report before anything else. So maybe even before my parents. So. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I enjoy the compliments too. Not to toot our own horn, but I think we do a heck of a job, and I think we're one of the best local area sports talk shows in the area.
Well, it wouldn't be the same without you two, that's for sure. And guys, we just have a couple minutes. Like I said, I want to talk a little basketball tonight. Let's talk about the girls' district games coming up on Saturday. Let's start with D3. I'll give you about 30 seconds on that one, and we'll give you about 30 seconds on D3. D4, then D3. Let's do it that way.
Yep, and Division 3 kicking it off. You see, I'm going to go Waynesville is going to advance to the regional final. I'm going to say that Williamsburg will beat Versailles. I'm going not do the Cardington Amanda Clear Creek game. Going to go with Purcell to the finals. I'm going to say it's Purcell, Marion, Waynesville final.
Cody, let me ask you a question. Whoops, I'm sorry, Kearns.
No, go ahead, Ken.
I'm really surprised with your pick there on Williamsburg. Versailles beat them in the regionals last year by 50.
I know.
Okay.
Different year.
All right. Sorry, Kearns. Go ahead.
No, you're good. I was just pretty much going to say the same thing about what Covey said. Waynesville's got a solid team, and I just don't think Versailles has it like they did the past couple years. They've had a run at being at state the past 3 or 4 years, but you definitely won't see them coming out. So, yeah, something like Waynesville or Purcell Marion is definitely going to be the regional champ there.
All right, guys, real quick, Division 4, what are you seeing there on Saturday?
Division 4, I am going to go with the Franklin Monroe Jets over Legacy Christian. I'm going to go with Laramie over Cedarville. I'm going to go with Tri-Village over Cincinnati Country Day. And I'm going to say it's the Minster Wildcats going over the New Knoxville Rangers, setting up a nice D4 district at Vandalia Butler.
So you got Laramie versus Minster in that, I guess, to go to state, huh?
Yep, should be.
All right, good stuff, guys, and thanks for that. Good stuff as always. Ken, talking more about some memories of this show, as much fun as we've had here and as many compliments as we like to receive from time to time, there's been a few times where we've kind of got chewed out, has there? I don't want to mention any names, any people or any schools, but I remember one particular instance. We were leaving Kettering Fairmont's Trent Arena, and I know you got an earful.
Yeah, we ruffled a few feathers that night, Craig. Earlier in the week we had talked about a particular conference and their strength of schedule and things like that, and I had to eat my words. They showed us that night and proved out to be the best team in Ohio that year. So. But, Craig, but, we're in the media, and we've done it more than once. We've ruffled a few feathers. We've been given heck a few times, but, that's all part of the fun. And if we made everybody happy all the time, Craig, we wouldn't be doing our job, right?
Yeah, we try to be positive, but we also want to be fair as well, and try to tell tell like it is when we see it sometimes, and maybe that doesn't always go over very well for everyone, but so we can take the criticism too from time to time.
That's right. We do our best.
All right, well, listen, let's go back out to Studio R. I think actually Covey has taken off out there. We got another guy in Studio R now that we haven't seen there for. Boy, I don't know if we've ever seen him there. That's TK. TK, you got a new seat out there.
Yeah, I don't know I've ever been out here. And as a matter of fact, I think we need one of these couches in the sound room, because this is a lot nicer than that chair I sit in back there. This is really comfy.
It's not like a tractor seat there. You sit on a tractor seat there in the sound room, and that's you got the cushions out there. The guys out there in Studio R don't have it so bad.
No, it's kind of nice out here. It's a good place to be. Well, so got a couple questions here. I guess we'll roll on with this senior night. Ask your kid a question. I guess that's the theme of things. So, going to mix things up a little bit here. First of all, Daniel, you play a lot of different sports, basketball and baseball, and then goof around some others. But in your main sports, there's always a lot of superstitions. Do you have any superstitions, and are they different between basketball and baseball?
Well, to start off in basketball, since my sophomore year, actually, we started wearing plain white socks, and ever since then, I wore the exact same pair. Until about 2 weeks ago, the bottoms completely broke through. I can't wear them anymore, so I had to give up that one. But hopefully that doesn't do anything to our tournament run right now. Hopefully we just keep rolling. But in basketball, I wore the same socks for the longest time, and in baseball, ever since my sophomore year, I was wearing the same undershirt. I cleaned it and everything, but I wore the same 3/4 sleeve undershirt for every game, home or away. Despite cold weather, I'd wear long sleeves, but if it was warm enough, I'd wear the same 3/4 sleeves. So those are the two differences pretty much.
All right, another big question. Which is better, cats or dogs?
I've had dogs my whole life. I had a dog named Mac. There's me, Scooby-Doo. That's probably why I love dogs so much. I got hooked on that at a young age. But my first dog was Max. He was a whippet. I loved him to death. I don't have that too many memories of him when I was pretty young. He was around, and then he ran away, or he got hit by a car actually, unfortunately. And now we have a golden doodle named Emma. So she's been great. She's 10 years old, I think. Yeah, 10. She'll be 11 this May, right?
Yep.
So she's been around all my life almost. So I've always had a dog in my house. I don't mind cats, but dogs are definitely my favorite without a doubt.
All right, we'll go back to the kind of the category of the night. What is your favorite sports memory of your high school? Obviously, a lot of things going on there, state runs and a lot of basketball down at UD and things like that. What sticks out right now before this big run in this tournament this year in baseball and basketball?
Personally, myself, I think I'll go with when I was at Marion local last year. It was the middle of March. A lot of you guys were there, actually. It was sleeting, snowing. It was like 29 degrees. Wind was blowing everywhere. It was terrible. And I went out pitching, felt really good in warm-ups, and mowed the Flyers down pretty much, not trying to toot my own horn. But I had 17 strikeouts in that game. So far, it's been a record. No one's told me that it's not. I tied the record, I think, actually. So personally, that was my favorite. But as a team, definitely winning the regional final against Newark Catholic, a powerhouse team in D4. Just going out there, and it was a great day. I think we had a rain delay, actually. We had a rain delay like every game in the regional and the district, too. So we battled the weather, and we won the regional for the first time in, I think, 42 years, I think it was. So that was so fun. I mean, the whole town was there behind us. It was just something I'll never forget for the rest of my life.
Yeah, a lot of fun. I remember as you talked about the Marion game, from the parent side, it was snow. I think it rained a little bit. It was a little bit of everything, but a heck of a fun game. So It's been fun to watch. Looking forward to the next couple of months as we finish up basketball and get into the baseball season. So congratulations and good luck.
Thank you.
All right, guys, great stuff there. And TK, I know you've done some interviews for Fish Report from time to time. You used to go out to the track every once in a while and do some interviews on the track, talking to different athletes. Did another good one right there. I bet you this is going to rank for you as your favorite, I'm sure.
Yeah, this is a little bit different than standing out there in Sydney High School in the cold early spring days interviewing track kids.
All right, great stuff. Again, thanks for that. And we're going to take a short break, but stay right there. When we come back, we're going to have more senior interviews, including my daughter, Anna, Ken's son, Carter, and even Heavy D is going to get in the action talking to his son, Will. We'll be right back.
Song in the motherland. You were born with heart, raised on pride. This is gonna go wrong through your bloodline. Oh, 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 loaded, bruised, and slain. Oh, 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 pride in this name. Skies run deep within this blue. False used devised by foolish views. Religious divide among the may create civil war on my family. Oh, 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 bloody, bruised, and slain. Oh, 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 pride in this name.
Welcome back to the second half of Fish Report Live, and finally, I get someone cuter than Ken sitting in this seat. So it's my daughter Anna. For those of you that don't know her, Anna, we actually had you on this show back in the fall, didn't we? Talked a little cross country, didn't we?
Yep, we did.
Yeah, so it's you're you kind of just jump from one sport to the next. Actually, cheerleading now, and then you've got a big season coming up. Your final season coming up in the spring, don't you?
Yep, track and field.
Yeah, so we'll talk more about that here in a little bit, but we're going to head out to Studio R. Let's talk to Ken and Carter out there. And guys, good morning. Ken, you're in a little bit different seat this time.
Yeah, I am, Craig. And you talked about a change of scenery here. I can say the same thing you did there. Finally got somebody better looking than Cody and Kearns out here in Studio R. And that's me and my son Carter. So Carter, thanks for improving the scenery over here. So welcome to the show. It's great to have you on. I think this is the first time you've ever been on. It's my 250th show. It's your first show. So, awful proud of a lot of the things you've been doing here. But give me some of the things that you've enjoyed about through your senior year of going to Russia School and some of the highlights of things that have happened for you.
Well, senior year, just hanging out with my friends and trying to make new friends too, and messing around with art class a lot. Miss Yoder.
About some of your team sports memorable moments.
Team sports memorable moments my number one moment would have to be jumping over Wittenberg's fence at regional finals and dogpiling there, first base line as we're going to state. And other team moments would be winning Shelby County League 3 times in basketball and then once in baseball my junior year.
Well, you've definitely had a lot of success, Carter. Fortunate that the Russia kids, the Russia community supports our athletics and our academic programs very well here at Russia. From an individual standpoint, Carter, you've played a lot of basketball, you've played a lot of baseball. You mentioned art class. I know you and Kearns and Will and some of your buddies, you're Mrs. Yoder's favorite students over there. but give me a highlight, one thing that just really sticks out in your mind that in your high school career that you would like to talk about.
Well, that one moment would be playing baseball junior year at Anna, and it was top of 7th inning. We're down 3-1, 1 out in the game, and I'm batting, 2 strikes on me, and I hit a double to right center field, bases clearing, and we ended up winning the game 4-3. Yeah,
that was a huge win for the Russia Raiders. Coach Flip, I remember that vividly. And, I know Kearns got the win in that game, and we brought in Big Hunter Cuz to shut the door in the 7th there. And it was, it led us to a Shelby County League championship there, Carter. And huge hit it was. And, you were kind of speaking of doubles, you were kind of a double machine last year. What's it take to get all these doubles? I seen, you had more doubles than about the rest of the team combined. What is it with you and doubles?
I just do what you taught me since I was a little kid, keep my weight back on that right thigh and just let it rip. Let it rip
and hit her into the gap. So, Carter, a lot of times we like to ask our seniors, and when we interview them, what's the plans for the future? We know what you've been through through high school. The end of your high school careers are going to be coming up here soon. You'll be graduating. What's the plans after graduation?
Well, I'm going to University of Dayton, and I'll be studying in industrial engineering. And pretty excited about that. Going to be hanging out with Daniel and Anna a lot down there.
What are you looking forward to at the University of Dayton?
Just meeting new people, hanging out with new classmates, and moving on with my future.
All righty. Well, listen, appreciate it, Carter. You've done a great job. Very proud of you. And thanks for joining us on Fish Report.
All right, guys, great stuff. Thanks for that. Fun talking to Carter. First time we've ever had him on the show. And again, you've been on the show back in the fall. We talked to you a little bit, but I want to talk to you now about your early memories maybe of this show. You kind of grew up on the show with the rest of these boys here this morning. And, you were actually, probably 10 years old maybe when Fish Report, we just first started doing the show. What early memories do you have just of your dad going down the basement and doing the show? What's the memories?
Well, yeah, I vaguely remember one time I was walking down in the movie room to watch a movie probably, and then I thought, why is there a milk crate in our basement? Why is there a milk crate in the movie room? And I just went along with it, I guess.
Well, yeah, we had the movie room where we would watch our movies at, and we actually had to use that for our studio because it was the only room available till we had to talk to Mom a little bit, and we talked her into finally building this studio back here next to the deep freeze and all that stuff. But it works. It works for us. That's for sure. So, another question, I guess, as far as, there's got to be, when you run around out there and you run into someone that knows about the show, any benefits of that? I mean, do you ever get any, free pizza or get into a game for free or anything? Or is it the opposite? Do you maybe take a little flack for your dad doing the show?
Oh, very funny, Dad. Very funny.
Well, I thought maybe there's some perks with it or something, but again, you grew up with these 3 boys that we have in here this morning as well. What's it like being a rose between, we'll call them 3 thorns?
Oh, well, yeah, you're definitely right on that. I am the rose between the 3 thorns. But yeah, I've basically known them my whole life. I loved growing up with them, and luckily we'll be at this basically within 10 minutes of each other for college. So,
well, I know one thing talking about college. One thing that made me feel good is that you've got 3 boys, like you said, within 10 minutes, and makes me feel awful good. You grew up with those boys, and you're going to continue to be around them. So, it gives me comfort. That's for sure. All right, great stuff there. Let's head back to the sound room and check in with Heavy D. I know he's back there with Will. And Will, I think the last time we saw you on this show, it was a long time ago. You were in camo, just like you are tonight.
Yeah, it was. I tell you, that's about 5 years ago. It was Heavy D's outdoor adventure. Talked about hunting with my dad, and that was a good time. Yep.
So, Heavy D, I'll let you take it away here. We've all done interviews now with our seniors.
These 4 seniors are pretty special. We all know that, and a lot of pictures. The parents are friends, and the kids are friends, and a good group of them. So. The kids have had a fun senior year so far. Nobody's gotten in too much trouble, I don't think, yet. Not too bad.
Still got a few months to go.
So. Yeah, we're not out of the woods yet. Will, it's gone quick. There's been a lot of special senior moments this year. Is there a special senior moment that you can think of that comes to mind?
I'd say my favorite senior moment this year is being let out at every home game to Greg Gubo banging the drums to the Raider Fight song and clapping all the little kids' clapping all the little kids' hands and seeing them get pumped up for the game.
Yep, that's pretty good. Greg does a pretty good job on the drums, and I'm not sure who I like better, T. Scott or Lee, as far as waving that Raider flag, but they both do a pretty good job of it. As far as college, or as far as high school classes this year, or in high school just in general, you know, you've done a lot of different things. Is there a particular class that you like? I know you really like math a lot. No? Physics?
No, I've had a lot of fun classes throughout my high school career, but I have to say my favorite class is with ceramics 1 through 7 with Miss Yoder. Daniel and Carter have been there the whole way and just messing around in the art room and just having a good time.
Ceramics 1 through 7. So
Yes.
if you guys caught that, so in our house, we've got a display case in the living room, and there's about 50 of Will's finest pots in there that he likes to show off. And you know, he does a pretty good job. He's thinking maybe ceramics engineering, maybe after. No, not after high school. All right. And well, that brings us to that. You know, well, the senior end of May is going to come. It's going to be graduation. You're going to be putting the tassel over on your hat in the auditorium, Claire C. Naveau Gymnasium. What's next for Will Sherman?
I think the next chapter in my life is going to be going to Sinclair for 2 years and studying either mechanical or industrial engineering technologies, and then after that going to Dayton for 2 years with Daniel, Carter, and Anna, and just having a good time there.
Finishing up. Yeah, here's a good picture, another good senior moment. We took the boys out to St. Louis this year, went and seen the Arch, and a couple of us got a little claustrophobic in the top of the Arch, but that was okay. We recovered nicely there. Had a good time with that. So that's what we got back here in the sound room, guys.
Heavy D, that all these seniors are going to be so close to one another down there in Dayton. I'm thinking maybe Fish Report Live hits the road, heads down to Dayton somewhere.
Tim's.
Maybe
Tim's Bar.
Tim's?
Yeah.
That sounds like a great idea.
It's a classy joint. We got to go to Tim's.
Yeah, we'll set up in there and do a remote from Tim's. That sounds like a great idea. All right, guys, great stuff. Thanks for that. And Anna, that's going to wrap it up for us this morning. You know, it's been 250 shows. Here's the 250 more.
Oh, made for more.
Yeah. You want to sign us off here this morning?
Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for joining us.
Hanging at the fish report. 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 For your latest news in high school sports, tune in to the fish report. Don't need no bed, don't need no pull. When you tune in to the fish report. Hanging at the fish report. Hanging